Here comes the
the
clap. Oh, we got that one. that was on oneness right there. Lord, thank you for this day we have today to pod and talk to your people. We pray, Lord, as always, that, as we're doing this, Lord, you will soften and remove the hardness in people's hearts so that they can receive what is being said. And I pray, Lord, that this helps them in their relationship with you. I pray you are glorified through it all and that we continue to be faithful in doing this. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. We back.
Eli.
What's up, guys?
Cook up.
Yeah. What's the word out here, people?
You don't even do your rap anymore. Y'all already know what it is.
Y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know what it is. What's good, y'all? See, my wife got to keep me on my toes. What's good, everybody? This is the Nfluence podcast.
Hey, guys.
My wife with the Be Still shirt on. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46. Y'all lock in and go read.
Yep.
But this is the Nfluence podcast where we focus on growing our relationship with God, with self, and with people. And as always, a reminder, you don't need 1 million followers to be an influence. Let me turn the volume down.
Y'all don't fall into the trap.
Don't fall for the deception.
Please don't.
Be not deceived.
Don't do it.
Oh, snap. But yeah, so how you feeling, bae?
I'm feeling okay.
You feeling good?
I'm feeling okay.
Okay. Do we need to go further in depth?
No.
That's for the off pod.
No. Y'all, today was my first time going out by myself without Dante.
Let's see if I get it right.
Please get it right.
Oh, my Lord. This is crazy.
Hey, I went out by myself. I got my nails done. I went to Target. It was fun. I'm not going to lie. I had a nice time. And I think I might need to start incorporating that in my daily, or like not daily. I need
to hit it again.
But
for
monthly.
My peace and sanity. Today was my first day.
No, it wasn't.
It was my self-care day.
It was your self-care day, but I have left you at home to go with someone else. But today I went by myself. So, but you haven't done anything different. I was telling Dante that it's next time it's his time.
It's my time to leave her in the crib dolo
by
while
myself.
I hit the streets.
Yes.
While I hit the streets and
go do
dumb.
something, but he don't like to spend his money.
Exactly. So that's why I'll be right here with her.
But I'm good. How are you?
Good. Relaxed.
That's good.
Folded some laundry.
How was your self-care?
It was cool.
It's good. I'm proud of you.
Read the Bible and then just sat in there.
Yeah.
It was solid.
That's nice.
It was solid. Cause I was gonna do it yesterday, but I didn't do it yesterday.
Yeah. It was a long day yesterday.
Yeah, so I just sat and relaxed today.
That's
before
good.
You had pulled up, and then I recorded some videos first. Then I did that, and then I was like, all right, let's fold up this laundry. Everything was hitting.
Y'all.
Uh-oh.
I have to expose you.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm not ready. What's the exposure?
Anyone else's husband's boyfriend.
What? What's this?
When you leave the house, they love to turn their phone on Do Not Disturb. Anybody else. And then when you try to call them for something,
listen,
nowhere to be found. To be found.
I can explain. Okay,
calling him 10 times, got it on D&D.
It wasn't on D&D. For some reason, my phone was on the silent, the switch on the side.
But you don't. But then when I asked you, you act like you don't know how it happened.
I don't know how it happened.
But it happened because you.
I don't know when I did it. I don't know when. Oh, I'm real. I don't know when I did that. It might have been last night.
The first time I called you, you answered.
Because that was when
Why?
That's when I noticed the door was locking and unlocking.
No, the first time, like I think When did I call you? I called you earlier in the day. Me. No, I didn't. I texted you, but then I called you and asked you if you wanted something to eat.
Oh, because I was near my phone at the time.
Let me know if y'all's husbands, boyfriends, even girlfriends, wives, I don't know. The one time that he needs to have his phone on and have it ringing.
But the switch was still probably off. I was just in here editing and doing all that other stuff, so I was near my phone, so I saw it.
I don't believe him.
I'm not lying.
I know you're not, but
I'm truly was ignorant.
But this is not the first time that this has happened. It's like whenever I leave the house, you just feel like you just disconnected from the world. Like anything can happen.
Most times though, when I do record, I do try to put the do not disturb on.
That's true.
Because I don't want nobody interfering with my joint.
But I told him.
But you saw the setting. It has you as the allowed. You the only one allowed.
Well, I wasn't allowed today.
Exactly. So that tells you it wasn't on do not disturb. It was just the ring joint wasn't going off. So I had it on silent.
Yeah. Whatever.
Silent night. Holy night. But anyway, big shout out to everybody. If you're watching this on YouTube, big shout out to you. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Yes. What are you doing if you're not?
What are you doing?
I need an explanation. Because if you're watching the content and it's edifying, why not show the proper love? I need you to show the love that come back my way instead of just consuming the content.
Show us how much you love the content.
And just hit the like button and subscribe. You know, if you're watching this for the first time, by the end of this video, I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe so you will be notified.
The confidence.
The bell notification too. All of that. You know what I'm saying? And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go ahead, leave a review. Let us know how you feel about the content and everything like that. I think we're at about
like 600.
600. I think the last time I checked it was like 633 or something like that.
That's good.
So thank y'all. We appreciate
it.
Put your people on. It's for you and yours as always.
On the road to 1,000.
Yep.
Do 1,000. If y'all saw it.
Bae, I think it should have been your right hand with the one.
Okay. Boom, 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 boom. I did it.
She did it.
I did it.
But anyway, today we are continuing in the series we call Bible Aint Boring.
Bible Aint Boring.
You already know where we are basically trying to knock down this narrative, this idea, this misconception, I guess, that the Bible is irrelevant. The Bible is boring and yada, yada, yada.
Right.
We ain't with it.
It's a modern day. It's modern too. It happens. These things happen. Real life.
It's one thing to say that the Bible is hard to read.
Which is true.
Yeah. Especially OT. Old Testament go crazy.
Right.
But to say it's boring or like it's not relevant, I can't disagree more. So, again, Bible Aint Boring. Today we are picking up in Genesis. We got
Cain
and Abel. We got the story of Cain and Abel.
The infamous Cain and Abel.
Yep. And last pod we talked about Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. What?
Yeah, Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden.
Right? Didn't it feel weird to say Garden of Eden?
Yeah, Eden.
Oh,
Garden
man.
of Eden and how the serpent manipulated Eve.
The first sin, the fall of man.
Yep. They got kicked out.
Got the boot.
They did.
Indeed. So, we in Genesis 4 today.
Y'all, I got a new Bible.
She got a textbook, y'all.
It is very heavy. It's really heavy, but
that's that joint when you in college. They say go pick up your book at the bookstore,
and you looking at this,
and that mug costs $60, and you start questioning: is my education even worth it?
You start looking it up online, a free
You start
version.
looking for the PDF for real.
Oh, but I got it because it has like I like to write in mine, so it's like it has like the side where you can write in it and like doodle.
Got some questions in it too.
Has questions. It's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
And it's big so I can see it because you know your girl is a little blind.
Dang. How unfortunate. You definitely won't be able to read my Jane.
Exactly. He was trying to get me to get some small Bible. Like, I can't see this.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It was all based on price.
Exactly. You don't want to spend no money.
It was all based on the price. She was trying to get this joint with big font.
It was.
It had a concordance. It had a whole bunch of questions on the side of it.
Turned it over.
It had lessons in it. All of this stuff.
It was a nice Bible though.
She turned that mug over. It was what, like
90, 80?
$80 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, yo,
I
babe.
Get that one.
You better go ahead and get one of these regular Bibles, get a spiral notebook, and get your laptop open and dig up some questions and go on blueletter.com or .org or something, because they'll give you the Greek and the Hebrew, all of that stuff. I was like, yo, we could get this for the cheap.
No, you don't get the lessons. And then it was so funny how quick you switch. As soon as you saw the price, you was all kind of for it in the beginning.
Yeah. And then
I
saw that price. I said $80. Yeah, let's put this back. I was like, is there no other way?
All these other Bibles? Do you really need that?
For real.
But I got this one, and it was a little more affordable. Mm-hmm. And it is nice.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, continue.
So do you want to read, or you want me to go first? You want me to read? We're reading King James, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's only one chapter. We're only going through Genesis 4, so.
Okay, you can read it.
All right, so verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said to Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. Verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out from this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begot. Dang, I don't even know this name, y'all.
Yeah, it just goes into like a family lineage, I think.
It goes into a family lineage. I'm going to call him Brother M. Nah.
Brother M.
Begat Mehuel? I don't even know.
Might have to skip this part, babe.
So verse 18, yeah, I don't even know who that is. But anyway, I'm going to pick up at verse 19.
Right.
Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of one was Adah, and the name of the other was Zillah. And Adah bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. And Zillah, she bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And his sister Tubal Cain was, the sister of Tubal Cain was Nama. Yo, y'all forgive us of my pronunciation on these names. A little hard. Lamech said unto his wives Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God said she, has appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. May the Lord bless the hearer and the reader of the word.
Amen.
Y'all bear with me, y'all. Them names, I tell you, boy.
Yeah, you was going good until you got to those names.
Them names was wild, and I ain't gonna lie. I started feeling cross-eyed. My drink started feeling wild style.
It's that small print.
That small print kind of got wild. But yeah, so that's Genesis 4.
Yes, Genesis 4.
As you can see, a lot of drama.
It is. It was.
So, what happened?
I had seen a TikTok. I should have saved that and sent it to you.
Yeah.
But I think a lady, she was like reading a Twitter post or something about Cain and Abel. And it was like, how did Cain know that if he hit his brother with a rock, it was gonna kill him? like because this is the first murder. So how did he know he was gonna die? Or because he didn't know what a murder looked like. Yeah. So it was just like, she was just like making like a joke about like, oh Lord, what if he didn't know or something, that
he didn't even know he could kill him. Well, he thought he was indestructible or something. So I'm gonna keep knocking him upside his head with this rock until something happens. I know. That's crazy.
It was funny.
That is crazy. Yeah. But so that's chapter 4.
I don't know why I closed.
And so yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into, again, like we said, Bible ain't boring. And I think sometimes people have this idea because we don't see that these people are us as well.
Yes.
So how do we relate to the text?
Yes. I wanted to say what Roth and countenance meant.
Okay.
I looked it up because to give more context.
Yeah, if you're reading King James Version, she'll break that down.
Roth,
everybody else will probably have a different.
Yeah, Roth means to be provoked, angered. So that's what that means. And then countenance, it says,
I saw something like it was like the presence or something like that.
Yeah.
But then I also see that obviously most of the other translations is just saying like their energy sharpened, or their attitude.
Falls, disappointed.
Yeah.
Cast down. It says another word for face. Like a facial expression.
We got that blue letter?
No, Christianity.com.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And this one is Bible study tools.
Okay.
So I guess it just is like a facial expression. Like if you get disappointed, you can tell your face gets like, you look disappointed.
Yeah, like Nevaeh.
Like with the little pouty face. Yes.
But yeah, like so how are we Cain or Abel? Because I'm gonna keep it a buck, y'all.
We are all Cain.
I ain't Abel. I tried asking the Lord time and time again. Yeah. Where do I relate to Abel? I couldn't find one.
Yeah, because we don't give God our first.
Uh-oh. It's getting spooky now.
I mean, some of us do, but we all fall short.
We all fall short.
We can't, like, you don't give God your everything.
Mm-hmm.
You don't wake up every morning and
off
pray.
the rip, like, oh man,
you don't. So, well, not
can't wait
everybody.
to give God my best.
Not everybody wakes up every morning.
Yeah.
And opens
you
the word.
They opening up that phone. You unlocking that phone. Let me see. Oh, I got some notifications on Facebook.
Yeah.
On IG.
Exactly.
What happened? Yeah. So, I think for me, I think I relate to Cain and obviously like multiple areas. Not just in like, jealousy, envy, or whatever like that.
Right.
Because I've had a family member that I was jealous of, or viewed him in a light where I was like, yo, man, I'm trying to be like him or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what I saw and I was like, what I related to was that like I've been mad at God before. And it's funny because you was telling me the other day, she's like, babe, I'm mad at God.
Yo, I really was.
She was. And I was like, yo, babe, I'm going to keep it a stack. It's not a fight you going to win.
He was like, have fun with that.
Have fun, yo. Speaking from experience, you ain't going to win.
Right. Because you can't be mad at God.
So.
Not for a valid reason.
Word. So. But also, I noticed how even in my life that even me being mad at God or having attitude towards him, unfortunately, I've seen it bleed into other areas. Mm-hmm. I've seen it bleed into our relationship where because I was mad at him about something or maybe he didn't answer a prayer the way I expected him to or in a timely manner that I wanted him to do it in or whatever like that. So now I'm feeling a type of way. You can't box God.
No, you can't.
So then you end up swinging on people that you have access to, which is an unfortunate thing that us as humans do.
Mm-hmm. We take it out on someone else.
And I didn't put my hands on my wife. I don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh yeah, no.
Don't do that. Some of y'all moms just started getting wild. Yeah. Don't do that.
Nope.
But I have been cold to my wife before. I have been emotionally unavailable. I have shut down. And it don't even be because of her. It just be somewhere it's like me just thinking about my relationship with God or something. And like I said, maybe he didn't answer a prayer as I expected him to or at the time I thought he would. And it bleeds into that.
I love the vulnerability.
Yeah. And also, like you was talking about, like, there's times we went to church, babe, and I told you straight up, yo.
Yeah, but you're not feeling it.
I didn't want to come.
Yeah.
I just wanted to stay and chill. This felt more like a discipline. I didn't come here because I wanted to. I came here because I'm trying to be consistent in coming to church. And this felt more like this wasn't out of want. This was out of like I'm gonna get through it.
You wanted that tropical smoothie.
Oh dang, she put it out there. If I can make it to tropical smoothie cafe,
I can make it at church.
You can make it to church, son.
Yeah.
There be times, there's real Sundays that we had to have this discussion.
Yeah, like we really just wanted the food after church,
exactly,
not going to church.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, like I went to church and it was I wasn't participating in praise and worship. I was just sitting down.
Yeah.
My wife checked me on that one time.
When?
I remember that when you was telling me like, yo, you just sitting there, you cold, you're not even standing up, you sitting in the seat and all of this. Yeah, she got on me on that.
Yeah. And I thought it was like embarrassing.
Dang.
A little bit, because it's like, yo, he's sitting like the middle, like everybody, and it was probably me like comparison too.
Yeah,
for sure. Like, like looking at everybody else when I shouldn't be.
Yeah, but
I felt
So those is where I related.
That's cool.
What about you? You got anything?
In the beginning of the week, I came to you. Well, we were talking about it and stuff, and I was like, I don't know if I am Cain. Like, I don't know if I can relate to Cain.
Yeah.
And the reason being is that like obviously he killed his brother Abel, and he didn't check his anger, when it arose, and he didn't listen to God's advice. So he let his anger consume him to get him to kill Abel. So it's like I I haven't thought about killing anyone.
Yeah.
I haven't, like, I usually get my anger under control before, you know, I explode and stuff like that. But it's like, it's not about like the murder aspect of it.
Yeah.
Even though it is, like, I mean, that's a big part of it, but it's still like your heart posture too.
It's the heart. Yep.
Just because you're not gonna kill someone, you could still kill someone with your actions. You could kill someone with your words. Like you could in another way you can like kill someone else's joy.
Their dreams. Because you hating.
Exactly. So there's other ways like that are not as extreme as murder, but you can also still be a hater. Like haters are real.
Exactly.
Everyone has been a hater. If you want to believe it or not, everybody's been a hater. Like in some form of fashion. So like throughout this week, like at my job specifically, like I found myself like Cain. And it's so interesting.
Thought she was all righteous.
But God humbled me.
He said, you don't think you Cain? Don't worry about it.
I'll show you something. Don't worry about it.
Let's take a closer look.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Okay. Should I give my example?
Do you wanna?
I'll just give it quick. I'm not gonna hold y'all up too much. So my job is pretty awful. I don't like my job, if anybody doesn't know. And so I have been wanting to like move to another area in my job. So someone a couple weeks ago had came up to me and was saying like they might have another opening for me and stuff like that. Yep. And so I was like, oh, cool, that'll be nice, you know. And I was like, I'm gonna pray about it, and I don't want to get too invested in it because it's just like an idea. It's nothing that
you don't want to get your hopes up.
Yes. And so like the way my job works is that you have to stay there a year before you can transfer. So I'm almost at my year. So it's like, okay, by the time I get like throughout the whole hiring process, it'll be like a year. And so everyone has been, well, not everyone, but some people have been telling me like, you know, that could work for you and stuff like that. So a couple weeks go by, haven't heard anything. Okay, you know, maybe things are working in the background, you know. maybe someone would just come up to me a random day and just pull me aside and tell me, you know, this is it. Yeah. So nothing happened. And then last week, I've been hearing rumors that someone else in my department that I'm working in is going for an interview. Okay. They're looking for another job. Okay, that's cool. Nice. You know, probably not the same that, you know.
That you trying to get.
Exactly. And then come to find out, it's the same job that lady told me about that she's interviewing for. And so, like, just like I guess just like the feelings and the emotions through it, because we all say, oh, I'm not going to get invested. But you do get invested and stuff like that. And so, you know, it just arose to like, I don't know, like bitterness, I guess. Like, dang, must be nice, you know. And I'm happy. I'm happy that she's getting it because well deserved. But yeah,
you just got in your feelings that.
Yeah, like dang, I thought it was my time. Like, but it's not my time, and God said no, and so yeah, that's my example. Do you think that's a good example?
I could see how.
Yeah.
How in your shoes it could be something where it's like, yo, because you've told me a lot of times where it's like, yo, like,
yeah,
why is it seems that unbelievers is getting the green light, like
literally,
and I'm over here pushing myself, trying to be faithful, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
and
no
nothing
result.
is going through.
Yeah, but
declines, rejection, all of this is crazy.
But
yeah, you've definitely said that.
Yeah. So just like with Cain, how and he was a believer, but it was his heart posture. So
yeah,
maybe my heart posture wasn't in the right place, stuff like that, or it just wasn't my time. Like Jerry Flowers said, well, let me stop because I'm not gonna exactly quote it, but around the premise that he said,
oh man,
around what he said is that you can't take over someone else's like watered plant, like what they've been cultivating and stuff like that. You can't just come in and take over their garden or whatever like that, their blessings. Like that's not how it works. You have to water your own and focus on yourself and improve yourself so that your time you'll be ready when your time comes. Something like that.
That was his time. He's
something
doing
like
time
that.
series, right?
Well, that was before, like a couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, so that's my example.
So now, let's get into takeaways.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll go with mine, because you said I could start this time.
Yes, you can. You got it. You got the floor.
So my first thing, we're gonna look in verse 4 and 5. So verse 4 and 5 is when they're talking about what Abel brought, and what Cain brought. So I put down, like, you can't expect treasure when you putting in trash. All right, so it's like when you giving trash, don't expect treasure. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So when we look at what Abel did, Abel was accepted, and his offering was accepted and respected because he gave God the firstlings of the cattle and the fat. So, I think the firstlings basically is like the firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
The firstborn of his cattle, and the or first fruits or whatever like that. But then when you have what Cain did, the Bible doesn't tell us, oh, he gave of his first fruits, because Cain was in the field,
right,
and dealing with crops and stuff. But it doesn't say that Cain gave like the best fruits that he had or whatever it is like that. It just said he gave some fruits. He just gave whatever he had. So some people would say that, like, I guess the two things is as either it needed to be a animal offering, like blood offering or whatever like that,
right,
or like you were saying, his heart posture.
Yeah.
So you could see where it's like he just gave fruits that he got from the ground, and if it wasn't his best, it could speak to how we approach God, and how we value God, how we see him. You know what I'm saying? Because if you value him and you see him in high and hold him in high esteem, you gonna give him your best. But Cain ain't do that. So that's my first takeaway that I saw in verse 4 and 5.
Nice. You want me to go?
Anything?
We're doing it like by chapter.
Mine's is going. I'm gonna just go through all of the verses and things
order.
that I saw. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna just say my biggest takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
Or something that I found interesting. Is like the conversation that God gave to Cain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, telling him, like, if you don't tame this, if you don't tame your anger, like, it's gonna eat you. Basically, you're gonna fall into temptation and stuff like that. I guess just like God's mercy and God's love that he had for Cain.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't happy with his offering, he still told him, like, yo, you have, what verse is that? Hold on. Let me
dive into the text.
Yes, I want to make sure it's accurate.
You want to paraphrase it and I found it?
Okay, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Just basically how he was saying, like, you can have another chance of getting this right. Like,
so this is verse 7.
Verse 7.
If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? That one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If thou does it well, shall thou not be accepted? If thou does not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. So basically saying, if you don't check your anger, then it's gonna rule over you, and that's exactly what it did. So, like, the advice and, like, God's, because these are Adam and Eve's children, so he didn't have to. He could have cut them off completely, honestly, but he still looked over them and still cared for them and still loved them. And yeah, so just God's grace in it. And even after he killed Abel, he didn't let anybody else kill Cain.
Yeah, he put a mark on him.
Yeah, so he still protected him, even though he sinned, just like his parents.
I wrote that down too.
Okay, you were gonna say
I wrote that down too. Yeah,
like, the similarities between the stories is interesting.
But even you see how the generation of sin.
Yes, and God remains
like
the same.
Adam and Eve journey was a lie.
Yeah,
and disobedience.
And
now,
yep, the same thing.
Same thing occurs But this time now, sin went from what Adam and Eve. They didn't lie to God. They
what, Cain?
No, Adam and Eve.
They lied to him. No, they didn't. I don't think.
They didn't lie to God, but it was a situation of
they just didn't
disobedience,
tell him.
and their disobedience was rooted in self pleasure,
right. And they hid. They hid too.
So it was rooted in self pleasure. Now, sin is birthed, but now you see another, I guess, branch of sin. Now you see in murder. So it's like, dang, like that's crazy.
And how God asked Cain, "Where is your brother?" And he didn't.
Same thing with
he didn't tell him. He didn't say, "Yo, God, I messed up. I messed up big time." He was like, "Why? I'm not my brother's keeper."
Yep. And that's in verse 9.
Yep.
Because I had that wrote down too. That Cain is like his pappy.
He is.
He got no accountability.
He doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm taking all yours. Let me stop.
And then I think well, if you bringing them up.
Oh, you just
I was just gonna go through it all in order, but
yeah, I didn't write mine.
That was in verse 9.
Yeah.
If y'all are reading, y'all got your Bibles with you, go to verse 9.
Yeah.
And he had a chance to be honest, and I just, like you said, like it's funny that God, it's like he does these heart checks.
He does.
You know what I'm saying? So in verse 9, he goes and he asks Cain, "Where's Abel thy brother?" And then Abel goes, Cain, he go ahead and he's like, "I don't know where he at. Am I my brother's keeper?" So it's so crazy that his anger is so up that he's not even like, it's like he don't got no remorse.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It's like he don't even care. I don't know where he at. After you know you just murked your brother.
Yep. But
that's
you don't
crazy.
Know where he's at.
Exactly. So it's like,
yeah, it is pretty.
He had a chance to be
he had a chance to be honest.
Yeah.
Because of course God knew where he was.
Yep.
Of course.
And God knew exactly the same way he knew with Adam and Eve.
He knew.
Because you could see after verse 9, he was saying that, "Yo, your brother's blood is crying out to me." Yeah. So he already know that Abel is dead.
Yeah.
But this is the heart check. Again, he gave another opportunity for Cain to come forth and just keep it a stack.
Yeah.
But he made the same decision that his parents made. Nah, I'm going to deflect. I'm going to hide. I'm going to leave it alone.
Right. But make God seem like he's tripping.
Instead of taking hold of a chance to just be honest and say, "Yo, God.
Yeah.
Remember how you told me sin is at the door?"
I fell.
I messed up. Yep. Sin got me. I let him in the room. I let him in the room. I murked Abel. Right? I murked him.
Not even in the room. He let him in every room.
Let him in the whole crib and gave him a tour.
Cooked them breakfast. Like, dang, he went crazy. And it's so interesting, the person that he was like jealous of and possibly wanted to be like is like he killed him. So like, who are you gonna look up to now? I don't know, where does that anger go? Like, did that make him feel better?
No,
probably not, because he's still like not happy with himself.
No, because what you want is God acceptance, but killing Abel does not get you accepted by God.
Exactly.
So, but to
one more thing.
Go ahead.
And it's interesting, like God remains the same throughout. Well, we're only in Genesis, but like about the Israelites and stuff like that, like throughout the whole like Bible, like God remains the same, even though humanity continues to disappoint him
to reach newer depths.
But he still protects them and covers them and shows mercy and love, even though you just committed murder, you committed adultery and all this type of stuff throughout the Bible. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
It was something that the Bible, I think it's in Hebrews 11. Where is it at? Hebrews 11. So Hebrews 11 verse 4 says that by faith Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, God testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaks. So I think the Bible, in their story, what Abel did, he put his faith in that. Versus with Cain, again, like we said, it's about how we're approaching. You see the differences in approach and how we value God. And you can see that Abel, the scriptures is telling us that, his gift was like a gift of faith. So that was one thing I forgot to point out when I was going through verse 4 and 5. But back to verse, another thing I saw was like you said, his God warning. God, again, like he did with Adam and Eve, he warns about, this is the consequence of like disobedience. This is going to happen if you do this. So in verse 7, if thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted. Basically, God wasn't, like you said, he really was showing like, if you just get right, you gonna be good. But you doing like, that's that. When I read it, that's how I felt. Like God is saying, I don't want to cut you off.
Like that fatherly
yes, yeah. Like, fam, if you get right, we good. But you wildin'.
For no reason.
For no reason.
For no reason.
You know what I'm saying? So, and obviously the Bible tells us that God judges the heart of man. So God, and then we also dealing with a God who has foresight.
He can see.
He sees what's about what's coming. So it could be little things that Cain could have been doing in that time that God is just looking and judging his heart. Like, fam, you on wicked time.
It's like when the teacher, when you got a test in the class and the teacher is going around looking at answers and stuff, and they slightly give you the answer.
Yeah.
They like, okay, are you sure about that answer? Let's think about this.
Let's really think. Exactly.
Before.
And then you're right too. Because in verse 6, that's where God is telling him like,
yeah.
Oh, verse 6. I think it's
oh no, not 9. I don't know.
I think it was boom. Verse 7, I think.
Yeah, 7. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, he's telling him, fam, get right and you're gonna be good. So he's probably giving him the answer to the test, because he's basically telling. That's why I'm thinking like maybe his conduct even before then,
it wasn't right.
Probably God been seeing like you've been doing some stuff for a minute, but I'm not gonna like stand on that because that's not what's given to us in the text.
Right.
But
we could also see with his offering, maybe he didn't like
exactly
see God in that way. Like Abel did.
Exactly. So maybe that that wouldn't just show just in an offering. I think it'll show just in your way of life.
Yeah. If you
I don't care what God got to say.
I'm not giving him my first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna give him what I always get.
Exactly.
I always make.
And I think also, like you said, Cain's countenance fell. God knew he was mad.
Yeah.
At that time, so he's like, bro, why are you? Yeah. Basically, why are you in your feelings? Like, if you just simply do right, you're gonna be accepted. We're gonna be good. But then I noticed that I'm like, if Cain was really focused on God, he would have looked and put a plan together. How can I make this right? He would have simply just asked God, how can I make it right? After God tells him, if you do it well, would you not be accepted? His next follow-up should have been, okay, what does doing well look like? What do I need to do to do right, to be accepted? Because that's really what he wants.
Yeah, that self-reflection.
Exactly. But he ain't put no play together. He just let his emotions rule over him. And like God said, sin is at your door. My son let him in the whole crib, gave him a tour.
He saw red.
Exactly. And you sent me an article, so that leads me to my next takeaway about like how what I saw in that article was talking about like, how do you handle bad news? That's what it talked about in that article that you sent me in the text.
Yeah.
And they were saying how like he had an opportunity for self-reflection, but he didn't do that.
Right.
And so what happens is like nobody wants to hear bad news. Like if you when you come and tell me, Tay, this ain't it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, am I gonna be angry at you now and I'm gonna go pop on my brother? Or do I say, dang, all right, so my wife, she don't like when I do that.
Yeah, so how can
I gotta get better.
Right.
I gotta switch that. I gotta fix that.
Right.
Or come to you straight up and say, all right, well, what you need me to do?
Right.
But there was no period of self-reflection in Cain. He just was big mad.
Yeah. And
went on his merry way.
And I'm not gonna say he was, but I can assume that maybe he had pride Like he had pride
exactly,
issues.
and I think all of that stuff starts manifesting.
Yeah, it does.
The pride his chest start getting puffed up.
Yeah, like yo, God
then
don't
through
accept
time,
my offerings. Like
exactly, the entitlement.
Exactly,
The entitlement, all of that. Yeah. So that was another thing that I thought about, because again, like with the bad news, I guess with God just saying like, yo, I don't like your joint. I'm not accepting it. I don't respect your joint. With that, he clearly cared. Mm-hmm. He clearly cared, because if he didn't care, he wouldn't have been mad.
No, he wouldn't have been. And
so that's why I don't want to say he didn't really care about God.
Yeah.
But just not enough, I guess.
No, and it always reminds me of like the situation where like the good kid that does what they're supposed to do and their parents love them and stuff like that. And then like, not saying he was a bad kid or whatever like that, but like the kid that wasn't as
you got the good kid, then you got the one that's just a pain in the neck.
And they're jealous of the good kid because they low key want the good kid's life, and they trying to sabotage the good kid. I just listen to my parents.
Exactly. That's really it.
I obey my parents, and they give me.
Yeah.
They show me their love through this.
Yeah.
By,
you always getting punished, bro, because you don't listen.
That was me. That was
simple.
literally me as a child. I did not listen to my mom and my brother. I was like, dang, he always gets everything he wants. They don't argue. He doesn't get beat up by my mom like that. I always get beaten. So it's like, if he would just listen and do what she wants you to do, then you wouldn't have.
But we try to hold on to that. Nah, I want to make my own choices. I want to do what I want to do.
Exactly.
And not listen.
And then you reap the consequences.
Yep. So yeah. I think another thing I had, obviously anger being left unchecked drove Cain to murder his brother. But like I said earlier, verse 9, dude ain't have no remorse. Just straight up just told God like, yo, I don't know where he at. Am I my brother's keeper? Like, that's just crazy.
Right.
Like, I can't read that and not hear the entitlement.
For
and
real.
I don't care energy in reading the text. I hear what I'm reading. But another thing, we went through that. Cain
and it says that they talked. It says Cain talked to Abel, and I wonder what that talked about.
Yeah, they went out to the field.
I wonder what they talked about.
Word. That's kind of crazy. Verse 15, we see that God, because you brought that up earlier, babe, about God covering Cain. So we see again back to the parallel with Adam and Eve. He puts the fig leaves. He kills the animal and cloths Adam and Eve.
Yeah,
and then they gotta go.
Right.
Same thing here. He puts a mark on Cain,
right?
Basically saying, like I said in verse 15, so y'all go check that. He basically saying like, yo, whoever try to kill you, I'ma deal with them.
Exactly, because I want to judge you.
Yeah. And verse 17 interests me because in verse 17 it says that he built a city and named it after his son. And so I always thought, because a vagabond is a wanderer. So he's supposed to be a wanderer. That's his punishment. You will be a wanderer and a fugitive on earth. So when I'm thinking of that, I'm thinking somebody, you ain't got no home.
Yeah.
You got a tent, you on the move.
Yeah.
But now he building a city. Oh. So he's planting his flag somewhere and builds a city, names after his son Enoch.
That's true.
And then so I was wondering like, yo, why did he build the city, or how did he get to build the city if he's supposed to be a wanderer? He's not supposed to have a home. But I was thinking about the punishment, being that God said you're going to be a wanderer and a fugitive. I'm thinking, because again, looking at the Hebrews 11 text, it says that Abel's gift was a gift of faith. I'm thinking, what if God was trying to use that punishment to develop him to have what Abel had all along, which was faith?
Ooh.
Because it was going to require faith.
That's true.
For me to know, man, when the streets hear about this one, they on my head.
Right.
It takes faith for me to know my life is literally in God's hands.
Yeah, literally.
Because I'm a wanderer
and
I'm a fugitive.
Yep.
They gonna murk me when they catch me.
That's true. That's a good
So
point.
there's nothing I can do about it. I have to trust in God. I have to trust that mark he put on me, I'm gonna be straight.
Me, right?
And that would strengthen his faith when times came when, yo, I should have been murked 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But nah, what he went ahead and did, I'm gonna build me a city and start building my life again. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
in the way that God wanted me to build it.
Yeah. I'm gonna do my own thing.
That's good.
So that was one thing I didn't understand. I'm like, yo, you supposed to be a wanderer and you making a city.
Yeah. Like how did you get that?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that was another thing I saw.
Because sometimes the hard-headed kids have to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And then another thing that I saw was that murder happens again in Cain's bloodline. Because Lamech is in Cain's bloodline. And then you hear the pride and the entitlement in Lamech. Lamech is, I think, what did I write? Lamech is Cain's great-great-great-grandson. And Lamech is telling his wives, yo, I just killed the dude.
Yeah.
Hurt him. But if God forgave Cain, he'll forgive me 70 times 7.
The entitlement.
The entitlement is crazy. But you are just like Cain. So it's like, yo, that is crazy to me that you could see that it's in the bloodline, but also that it's exactly the same way where it's like, yo. Yep. And then you could also see, because we're guilty of this too, where it's like we judge other people's sins. Because he's judging Cain. Yeah. Cain killed his brother. If God forgave that, I mean, what I did, surely God will forgive me of that. Like, that ain't nothing. So that was one thing I saw when I read, and I was like, the entitlement is crazy.
Like we deserve God's forgiveness.
Exactly.
No, he gives it to us freely. And because he loves us.
Mm-hmm. And I think the last thing I had was, did Cain ever really stay or even try to regain that relationship with God again? Because at the end,
we don't see it, do we?
Exactly. In the end, in verse 26, it says that, verse 25 and 26, Adam and Eve, they have another child. His name is Seth. And in verse 26, it says, and to Seth, to him also there was born a son. So Seth's son Enos, then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. So Seth, I think, is the beginning, or Enos is the beginning of righteous seed. So there are people on earth between Enos and Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
And Adam and Eve, I don't think they died yet.
No.
Yeah, so Adam and Eve is still there. Cain is there. Cain's kids and his wife, and then his kids' wives or whatever like that. So there's people there, but nobody's calling on the name of the Lord.
I know.
Not until Enos.
Huh.
Which came from Seth. So
maybe Cain didn't live in God's, how God wanted him to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe he didn't. I thought he did.
Well, there's another,
because why would God, well, just because God protects you doesn't mean that you're free from God's judgment.
But I don't think he lived trying to stay tapped in with God, because another scripture I found said that he was just
let me look it up. I really don't know.
In 1 John, I think chapter 3. Oh, 1 John chapter 3 verse 12. I guess 11 and 12. For this is the message that you heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain, who was that of the wicked one and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil and his brother's was righteous. So I don't know if they're saying like his lifestyle was evil. Well, we'll have to assume based upon the timing. Mm-hmm. So they're probably saying more about his sacrifice or anything like that was evil, not necessarily what happened post murder. But you could clearly see the distinction between Abel and Cain, that one is righteous, one is not. One is evil, one is good. One had faith, one didn't. One valued God, one didn't. And so I just find this story very interesting. Like, it's not just about, And that's the thing we also saw in the Adam and Eve account, that it's not just about, oh, this is a story where, Adam and Eve disobeyed God. They had to deal with the consequences. Oh, Cain killed his brother Abel. That's the story. No, there's like more to it, that when you really unpack these layers, you'll see that, oh, wow, there's more to it than this. This ain't just some surface level joint where, oh, he had jealousy of his brother and he killed him. Nah, like, it's deeper than that. Because I think the scriptures also will testify of the goodness of the Lord still in the midst of all of this human error, all of this human chaos and nonsense. God has remained the same. So based off the last two stories, we still see the same God, the coverer, the keeper, the faithful. Because it wasn't God who pushed Cain away. He still said, yo, fam, you can make it right. Cain didn't want to make it right. So that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
Did you find what you was looking up?
I did. I don't know. There's really no answer. It doesn't say that he repented or was remorseful, but a lot of like when they talk about him like later in the Bible, like in John and in Jude, they consider
Jude
Cain
11 or Jude 1?
Yeah, Jude 1:11.
Jude 1:11.
Yeah, and John 3:11, First John 3:12, First John 3:11. They say that he was the wicked one. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
I no. So.
You're not gonna see any point in the Bible where Cain is regarded as good.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he had to work for that city.
Yeah, for real. Because I think in Jude, Jude was saying that he was greedy.
Yeah, I think that's what it said.
Is it Jude 1:11 you said?
Woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of Cain and ran greedily after the error of Balaam for reward. Yeah.
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 So maybe he ain't give God the best of his fruits because he wanted to keep it to himself.
Not him being selfish.
So yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So y'all paying y'all tithe? Y'all giving y'all first fruits? No, because we just started giving and stuff like that, but yeah,
we're trying to be more selfless and show God our love for Him.
Yep. But yeah,
in His hands.
Indeed.
But yeah, you had good points though. You had good takeaways. I like
how they started jumping out.
Yeah, I like how you broke it up.
They started jumping out to me and everything like that, so I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we got for y'all.
Oh, we got to do our mid tap. How well do you manage your anger?
Oh, that's one of her Bible questions.
In my Bible, it has.
How well do I manage my anger?
Yes. Like, what is your best way to handle your anger so you don't let it arise to such extremes?
I breathe and I pray.
Breathe and pray. That's good.
I think because I don't think I have a lot of anger outbursts or like
holding anger in.
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't think I've made a decision. I don't think I bowed down to my anger and I let my anger push me in a direction. I kind of sometimes I just be like, all right, let me just God, like now just
vent to him.
Yeah. 'Cause I feel like it's a good exhale. It's a good release of that negative energy. Get that off. All right, God, what's the play?
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, same. Pray. And just like venting and like getting it out too, like not holding it in. Like if I vent to God or vent to you or anything like that, like just getting it out in the open. I think that's why like a lot of people have therapists is like, cause it's just good to get it out in the open, just get it off your chest instead of holding it in and feeling like embarrassed to tell anybody or something like that. So I would pray to God or vent or something like that. And most of the times it's not even that deep. Yeah. Like after you get it off your chest, it's like, all right,
let's move on.
Yeah. All right. It is what it is. But yeah, don't hold y'all's anger in, y'all. Please don't do it. Don't do it. Please.
Yeah.
Please get it out. Get it out in a healthy way. Way.
So that's what we got for y'all.
Yeah. Let us know how y'all handle y'all's anger.
Get in the comments.
If you relate to Cain.
All of that.
Yeah.
Let us know how you feel about this one. If you listening, leave a review on Apple or Spotify podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. You made it this far. You're only one click away.
One click away.
Show some love. Help us grow this thing. You know what I'm saying? Nfluence always. Yeah. And y'all stay up, stay blessed. Put your people on. It's for you and yours. Yep. Peace and love.
Bye, guys.
May the Lord be with you. You feel me?